Hello, in this lecture we'll talk about the story of the great poem The Night in the Panther Skin. Actually, the story in a nutshell is about the adventures of two knights. The first one is Tariel. Tariel is the hero of the story, and his nickname is the Knight in the Panther Skin. And the second one is Abtandil, that is the commander of the Arab armies. And in more detail, the story can be divided into two parts. The first part is the search for Tariel, with the name of the Knight in the Panther Skin, and the second part is the search for Tariel's beloved, the Standard John. So in the first part, the search for Tariel, Rostevan, that is the king of Arabia, and Abtandil go to a hunting competition. After 3 days of shooting game, they take a break and the rest under a tree, and suddenly they saw a knight dressed in a panther skin crying by a river. So they were very curious to find out who is the mysterious knight, and therefore King Mustaman sends slaves to encounter him, to know him, but the mysterious knight reacts violently and kills all the slaves that came to encounter him, to know him, and then disappears. Mustaman sends parties across the world in order to find the mysterious knight, but becomes disheartened when he fails. And then Tinatin, that is the daughter of King Mustaman, the king of Arabia, and she is also in love with Abtandil, asks from Abtandil to find the mysterious knight, and in return she promises him to marry him. And Abtandil searches the mysterious knight for 2 years and 9 months until he finds him, and the mysterious knight tells him that he was the commander of India's fleet, and he also was in love with King Parsedan's daughter, the Standard John, but she was abducted by the demon king, and from that moment he became depressed, and he went to solitude in the wilderness with only a maiden by his side. When Abtandil hears the story, he is very moved, and he tells Tariel that he will help him to find his beloved, the Standard John. So then Abtandil, Tariel, and also Pridon, that is the ruler of Bubazanzar, with 300 soldiers, go towards the Kaji's country, And actually the Kyrgyz country is a fortress, and it is impossible to invade, to infiltrate the fortress. And also the soldiers of the country are very strong, so it is actually impossible to rescue the town that was held in a high-rise building, in the top of a high-rise building, and 24 hours guards was keeping that no one will try to rescue her, or she will not escape. But Oftandil Tariel and Pridon with 300 soldiers did the unthinkable, and they succeeded to infiltrate to the Kyrgyz country and to rescue the Standard from her captivity by the Kyrgyz. And finally, the story has an happy ending, in the sense that Oftandil marries his beloved Tinatin, and Tariel, the knight in the panther skin, and the hero of the story, marries his beloved, the Standard. Okay, in the next step I will tell you the story even in more detail. So, the story, as I already mentioned before, can be divided into two parts. The first part is Oftandil's quest for Tariel, the titular, the knight in the panther skin, and the second part is Oftandil's quest for the Standard, Tariel's love. So in the first part, that is the search for Tariel, the king of Arabia, Osteban, has no sons and confers the kingship on his only daughter, the beautiful and wise Tinatin. She has a tender affection for Oftandil, that is to say, she is in love with Oftandil, the knight and commander-in-chief of Osteban's armies. One day, Oftandil challenges King Osteban to a hunting competition. After 3 days of shooting game, they encounter a knight crying by a river. He is dressed in a panther skin and kills the slaves sent by the king to contact him, then disappears. Osteban sends parties across the world to search for the mysterious knight, but becomes disheartened when he fails. Tinatin asks Oftandil to find the strange knight in 3 years, promising him her hand in marriage in return. After 2 years and 9 months of searching, Oftandil finds the knight in the panther skin, hiding in a cave with only a maiden for company. His name is Tariel, is the son of King Saridan, who has the 7th kingdom of India. Tariel had served as heir to King Parsedan, king of the other 6 kingdoms of India, for many years, before falling in love with Parsedan's daughter, Nestan Darajan. Tariel wages war with the Qatarians to earn the favor of Nestan, but is dismayed to learn that she has already been promised to the Khwarazmian prince Khorezm. Tariel couldn't bear the idea of her marriage, and at Nestan's request, he killed the suitor. The princess was placed on a boat and set adrift on the seas. Despite Tariel's lengthy search for his love, he couldn't find her. Later, he met Nuruddin Pridon, the ruler of Bulgazanzar, who told him that Nestan was alive but trapped on a distant boat. Tariel retired to a cave to live in the wilderness with Asmat. Asmat is the former servant and messenger of Nestan. Moved by this story, Avtandil promises his friendship and brotherhood to Tariel and agrees to help him find his love, Nestan Darajan. Avtandil returns home to Arabia and tells Tinatin the story of Tariel. Against King Rostevan's wishes, he returns to his new friend Tariel. So we finish with the first part of the story, that is the search for Tariel, the knight in the panther skin. And the second part is the search for Nestan Darajan, Tariel's love. In the second part, Avtandil then leaves Tariel to go to the kingdom of Pridon, where he doesn't hear anything new about Nestan. Continuing his quest, he arrives in the city of Rolanchao. He meets Patman, the wife of the chief Hussein, who falls in love with him. Avtandil, sensing she knows the fate of Nestan, succumbs to Patman's seduction. She tells him she has been keeping Nestan at her place, and as Nestan was promised to the king's son, she helped her escape, but in her flight, Nestan was abducted by Kaji, the demon king. Avtandil then returns home to Pridon and to the cave of Tariel, and later all the three friends, that is to say Avtandil, Tariel and Pridon, decide to go to the country of Kaji with an army of 300 men to find and deliver Nestan. When she is released, all return to Arabia, where King Rostevan forgives Avtandil his flight and breaking the king's order. They all celebrate the marriage of the latter, that is to say Avtandil, with the king's only daughter, Tinatin. They then leave for India, where Tariel marries his love, Nestan. Pridon also returns to his homeland, and the three friends reign happily with prosperity and generosity in their own respective realms. Okay, thank you very much.